Tonight on CTV News at 6, we have liftoff.
Booster ignition and liftoff.
Artemis II's mission to the moon is underway, much to the celebrations of hundreds of space enthusiasts cheering from local watch parties. Plus, police make a second arrest in connection with a deadly shooting on the QEII.
Our victims were true victims that had no criminal history, but our suspects have a criminal history.
And reaction to the province's Education Act, with some teachers saying the legislation amounts to censorship.
I think every teacher starts off with the premise of we all have our own opinion.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Nariman Issa.
Good evening. A historic day for mankind as the Artemis II mission to the moon launched.
8, 7, RS-25 engines lit. 4, 3, 2, 1. Booster ignition and liftoff. The crew of Artemis II now bound for the moon. Humanity's next great voyage begins.
It was all systems go at the Kennedy Space Center just over an hour ago. The launch marks NASA's first lunar mission in more than 50 years. It also marks the first time a Canadian will go on a mission around the moon and the furthest a Canadian has ever gone into space. Canadian Space Agency astronaut Jeremy Hansen is on board the mission. And it wasn't just the NASA control room celebrating.
25.
Hundreds of Edmontonians celebrated the launch of Artemis II at the TELUS World of Science.
Oh, it was exciting. The atmosphere in watching it together as a group was exciting with other people who are space enthusiasts as a group. So it was really fun.
All right, so Miriam Valdez-Carletti joining us live from the TELUS World of Science now. And Miriam, what was it like for people there who were watching the launch?
Honestly, Nirman, it was surreal inside the Ziegler Dome. There were so many people just cheering when they saw Artemis II head up into space, waving their Canadian flags and just really feeling that pride. And I did get a chance to speak with one Edmontonian who made a mission himself down to Florida to watch the launch in person.
Seeing Artemis II launch into space is a moment in history that Zachary Aubert knew he couldn't miss.
Many of us joke once you have one, you become addicted. There is just something about the power, the vibrations, the feeling that you get, and it's different with every rocket.
Aubert runs the Launchpad, an online space platform that provides live updates and space news. He was invited by NASA to see the Artemis II launch in Florida.
There's a physical reaction to it, and most launches you watch are cargo, but this one has a crew on board. And there's something just really special about being able to be here in that moment.
An out-of-this-world experience he's been waiting years to witness up close. Standing at 98 meters, Artemis II is carrying more than just humans, but a hope for the average person to live in space one day.
There's a real excitement around that because there really, the saying is there's a place for everyone in space, and there really is. Whether you're an artist or a lawyer or an engineer, there is a place for everyone.
But for Aubert, seeing astronauts head towards the moon again is another moment in history to unite each other.
No matter how much our countries maybe dislike each other on the planet, we've been able to still work unified in orbit. And there's something that when you're up there, you just see that, we are one planet, we are one being. And I think that's where people get really excited.
And a chance for a new generation to feel connected to space.
For the first time in 52 years, anyone younger than 52 will be able to look at the moon and say, hey, we can actually go there, not we went there.
And I'm joined by Frank Florian, who's a senior manager here at the TELUS World of Science. Frank, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me.
And so Artemis II is now in the sky. Tell us a little bit about the journey and what's happening right now.
Well, right now the astronauts are checking all the systems on board the space capsule, make sure everything's working. They've got their solar panels deployed, so they're trying to make electricity through that because this spacecraft is powered by solar panels, not nuclear power or any type of other type of source. So They're testing all the systems before they get the okay to actually launch towards the moon later tomorrow.
And when are they expected to return back to Earth?
Well, this is a 10-day mission, so they should be coming back around the 11th or so of April. So we'll have to wait now that they've actually launched. Now they're going to give us an exact date and time for return and splashdown in the Pacific Ocean.
And this is a very historic mission. So what are we going to learn from this?
It's a historic mission because we want to go back to the moon. And what we want to learn is how to go back to the moon faster and safer. And this is a stepping stone to, again, returning to the lunar surface. So with a mission like this, they're going to try to work out any kinks they might have in the spacecraft, look at how everything performed. It's a big test mission, really, to get us back to the moon and to get us back on a more regular basis.
And how was it for you watching Artemis II finally get into space?
It was just like, wow. And I think everyone else in the audience was just the same way. Just seeing that rocket kind of blast off and knowing that we have a Canadian on board going to the moon, it was just, it just got me in my heart. It's just like, I just rooted on Jeremy's just so much. It was just an incredible launch, and we just wish him a safe return.
Yeah, and I'm sure many Canadians are feeling that way. Thank you so much, Frank. Back to you, Nairman.
That is Miriam Valdez-Carletti reporting live for us for such a historic moment. Thank you. Police have made another arrest in connection with a deadly shooting on the QEII. Police won't yet reveal the motivation behind the shooting, but say it was not a hate crime. CTV's Amanda Anderson reports.
RCMP believe that we now have arrested and charged all suspects in relation to this incident.
A second person has been charged in a deadly daytime shooting on the QE2.
23-year-old Dion Libsicle, who was already in custody on unrelated matters, was arrested in Edmonton.
In mid-March, on this stretch of highway south of Leduc, Birinder Singh was driving with two friends. Police say he was in the left lane when a truck approached on the right.
They previously had no knowledge of each other until they came upon each other driving south on the highway.
Police say the friends in the car said they were shown a peace sign from the people in the truck, which they returned. Soon after, police say 2 shots were fired at the car, killing 22-year-old Singh.
Our victims were true victims that had no criminal history, but our suspects have a criminal history.
Libsicle, who police believe was driving the truck, is charged with second-degree murder and accessory after the fact. 18-year-old Jimmy Gassner, police believe was the passenger and possible shooter, is also facing second-degree murder charges.
In our investigation, we could show that there was absolutely no planning. This was probably occurred and became an incident within 2 minutes. We have seen no evidence to suggest that this attack was motivated by hatred or racial bias against any specific group.
Investigators have also ruled out road rage, robbery, and gang initiation. While trying to protect the investigation and court process, police couldn't yet rule out mistaken identity or say if it was a random incident.
We can't promise this is never going to happen again. That being said, this is something that is a very rare instance. This doesn't happen often, and I think that, people can still feel safe driving on the road and not have to worry about something like this happening to them.
The accused remain in custody. Libsicle is due in court tomorrow. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
The provincial government says proposed changes to the Education Act are designed to encourage conversation on topics and viewpoints that are unfairly silenced in classrooms. However, some teachers say the legislation amounts to censorship and adds additional stress when schools are facing more serious and immediate struggles. CTV's Jeremy Thompson explains.
I think every teacher starts off with the premise of we all have our own opinion.
In his 30-plus years teaching social studies to junior high students, Gary Nelson discussed some touchy subjects like politics and human rights. It's a practice he worries fewer teachers will pursue under newly proposed legislation.
The path to sound judgment is through vigorous discussion and debate. And what we're saying is you can't have that vigorous discussion and debate. The teacher certainly cannot be allowed to even be the moderator.
Bill 25 makes a number of changes to the Education Act, including a requirement that teachers ensure all viewpoints from students are treated equally, even if they believe those views are misinformed or potentially harmful. Education Minister Dimitrios Nikolaides says the goal is to remove ideology and bias from the classroom.
The changes that we've made in the legislation help support critical thinking and help support discussion of maybe controversial or challenging topics because we're safeguarding a student's right in the bill to express diverse viewpoints.
Whether it's the impact of the oil and gas industry, LGBTQ rights, or even flat earth theory, Nelson believes teachers have a responsibility to separate facts from opinions for their students.
8, 9, 10-year-old kids, they don't know all the information, and they will come into their classes with a lot of mistruths, misinformation, partial information, and complete lies.
Opposition leader Naheed Nenshi believes the new rules on classroom bias are redundant.
I believe kids are smart. I believe they need to learn how to deal with opposing views the way this government has never learned, and we should trust teachers to do their jobs.
The Teachers Association says existing professional standards already cover bias among educators. Staffing and classroom size and complexity remain the union's top issues. Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
The province is putting forward legislation that would give it more power over immigration. The Immigration Oversight Act would require employers to register with the province before accessing federal temporary foreign worker programs. It would also create a licensing system for immigration consultants and recruiters. Alberta's immigration minister says Bill 26 would give the province information it was not receiving from Ottawa and put up safeguards for workers.
We're taking all legal means possible, which is in my mandate letter from the Premier, to take more control over provincial immigration. And in doing so, it will support the businesses in Alberta, and it will create a more transparent process for people coming from out of country to work.
The province says these tools are already in place in Saskatchewan and BC. If passed, the legislation would be implemented over time. The UCP government is also proposing changes to legislation to implement parts of the budget. The UCP introduced Bill 27 today. If passed, it will amend 5 pieces of legislation, including the Seniors Benefit Act. Changes would apply a 9% income threshold adjustment to non-deductible income for low-income seniors.
We're balancing fiscal responsibility with the need to protect the long-term sustainability of programs seniors rely on and focusing supports on those seniors who need them most.
Bill 27 will also make changes to the Automobile Insurance Act. This will help Alberta transition to what the province calls a Care First model. The provincial government has received a failing grade when it comes to dealing with Edmonton's homeless population. 1 year after Dan Johnstone, known as Can Man Dan, launched his Time for a Change campaign, he's given the province an F grade. He's also given the city a C-. According to Homeward Trust, nearly 4,000 homeless people are living in Edmonton. Johnstone says that far outnumbers the amount of shelter space in the city. Johnstone says while politicians have been eager to meet with him, they are less keen to making changes.
I think compassion's being lost. I think empathy's being lost. And as a society, we need to wake up and just look at the streets, look at what's going on, and look at these people's lives who are being changed by drugs, who are being changed by alcohol, homelessness, abject poverty. They're never going to be the same afterwards, and we have to do something about it because the rate is not slowing down.
The city says homelessness is a complex challenge that no single organization can solve alone. The province says it leads the country when it comes to responding to homelessness. For the first time this season, the Oilers have won 4 in a row. Now, the Oilers blanked the Seattle Kraken 3-0. They're now within 2 points of the division lead. Connor Ingram made 27 saves for the shutout, which happened to be on his 29th birthday. A treat was waiting for him after the game.
They sing happy birthday to you after the game?
No, thank God.
Cake?
No, not here. I think Sarah's got some cupcakes for me at home, though.
Oh,
I'm excited for it.
Yeah, what's your favorite cupcake?
I'm not much of a cupcake guy. I'm not an icing guy. Yeah, she brought home a cookie, and that's what I've been eyeing up all day. Yeah, a little mini egg cookie. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to get into it.
The Oilers host the Chicago Blackhawks tomorrow night at 7. Well, one of Canada's biggest R&B artists is coming to Rogers Place this summer. Daniel Caesar is making 7 stops in Canada during his worldwide tour. He'll play Rogers Place August 13th. Caesar won Juno Awards last week for Songwriter of the Year and Contemporary R&B Recording of the Year. Tickets go on sale tomorrow. WestJet is taking action against barefoot bandits on its flights.
Bare feet on my flight, I'm shocked to see.
WestJet put out this video for April Fool's Day. And while it is a joke, WestJet is asking people to keep their feet covered during flights. Now, the zoo also had some fun, posting about new exhibits, including Bigfoot and Ogopogo viewing areas, and a spot to run with the geese. Now, the city of Fort Saskatchewan got in on the fun, too. It posted a picture with an idea to make its water tower a little more exciting with a super slide. All right, first check on weather. No tricks here. Josh.
I actually really like that idea.
You know, I don't know what
That's
the insurance aspect would be for a water slide like that, but...
zip line. You need a zip line off of that water tower.
Oh, you got all the attractions. All of the attractions. All right, speaking of attractions, you are in Keswick at the Full House Lottery Dream Home, and it looks pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah, this house is spectacular. It's you know, the show home plus $50,000 as one of 4 grand prizes. More importantly, you're helping to support the Royal Alex and University Hospital Foundations. And to talk a little bit more about that and how important this lottery is, we have President and CEO with the Royal Alexandra Hospital Foundation, Charlene Rutherford. Charlene, how are you?
I'm great, Josh. Thank you so much.
No, thank you for having us here. This house really is spectacular. How important is this lottery to you guys?
Well, this is incredibly important because this lottery, as you said, supports not one hospital, but 2 major hospitals that advance cardiac care in our city and throughout Alberta and into the north. And that is the QEII Heart Centre and the Universities of Alberta Mazankowski Heart Institute. And you have the full gamut. You've got, minimally invasive cardiology at the QEII Heart Centre, saving lives every day, and you've got right through to open heart surgery and transplant surgery at the Mazankowski, and really we're so fortunate to have such tremendous care in our city, and Full House Lottery has been there right from the beginning, supporting these 2 heart centers and making sure that the cardiologists and the surgeons here in our city have the best technology at the best time, supporting and treating tens of thousands of people every year.
Yeah, I mean, the number of people that are impacted by those 2 facilities, almost everybody is impacted by it somehow. So get your tickets at fullhouse.ca and get them before midnight tonight. Time's running out for the early bird prize.
Yes, it is. You've got just under 6 hours now to get your early bird tickets. And when you get the early bird tickets, what you're in the draw for is 31 days of prizes. So every day in March, we are going to pull a ticket that awards a $35,000 travel voucher that you can use anywhere.
Yeah, you could go a lot of great places with $35,000 travel voucher or $25,000 cash.
Or $25,000 cash. You get to choose, but we're pulling 31 of those. So not just one winner, 31 winners. And that's just the start. There's also other prizes. So.
Yeah, there's the 50-50 that you can add on. There's cash prizes every single day. You're going to see a QR code on your screen right now. If you scan that, that'll take you to where you can get your tickets, or just go to fullhouse.ca. But get your tickets before midnight tonight and get in on that 31 days of getaways in the month of May. Charlene, thank you so much.
Thank you, Josh.
Very quickly, let's take a look outside with the CTV drone. It's brought to you by Century Casinos. 3 great locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile. Sunshine this morning, but clouds are starting to thicken up a little bit out there. It's 2 degrees in downtown Edmonton after a high of 4 earlier this afternoon. We'll take a look at the chances for snow tonight and tomorrow in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. Well, still to come on CTV News, an update on a MAID recipient whose wish was to be an organ donor.
He will absolutely live on in these people. So important to him.
The lasting legacy John Maloney will leave behind with friends and strangers.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
An update now to a story we brought you a week ago. John Maloney, a blind man approved for medical assistance in dying, went through the MAID procedure. As close friends say, he died with dignity and forever changed the lives of others by donating his organs. CTV's Nicole Weisberg reports.
John didn't like to use his cane. He liked that human connection.
Tom Langner and John Maloney met more than 20 years ago through a mutual friend, quickly connecting over philosophical conversations.
We loved going out for lunch. There's our regular spots that people always recognize us coming in, because people don't forget some guy walking in and somebody has his hand on my shoulder kind of leading him in.
A few years ago, the two traveled to Victoria together. John was completing an in-person residency at Royal Roads University. He also crossed something off his bucket list.
Of course, we find this breakwater with all jagged rocks, and the waves were crashing up against it. And but I got him to the end of that thing like he wanted to, and you have to reach down and touch the ocean. And
last Friday, Tom picked John up from his home and drove him to the hospital for a medically assisted death. The day before, John learned he could donate several organs, his lungs, a kidney, bone, and tissue after dying.
You will absolutely live on in these people. So important to him.
I was going through sight loss pretty much for my whole life.
3 days prior, John spoke to CTV News about his decision. He said he was tormented by an incurable condition that replaced his sight with non-stop visual hallucinations, contributing to severe insomnia. He learned track 2 made was an option after attempting suicide 2 years ago.
He tried taking things into his own hands, and now you don't get the dignity and respect.
New legislation from the province would limit MAID to people whose deaths are foreseeable within 12 months. Tom believes it should be an individual's choice and supported John in his.
Right from the testing of the organs right up until prepping him for surgery. Everyone was just so wonderful, respectful, and I'll say it again that John died with dignity.
Nicole Weisberg, CTV News, Edmonton.
Well, coming up, moisture in the mountains.
This year we're seeing a lot of above average snowpack, so higher depths and more snow.
What a banner year for snowpack in the mountains means for our spring and summer. Stay with us.
We're inside the Full House Lottery Grand Prize Show Home. It could be yours, and don't worry, I'll kick these people out. Although you're loving this lower level, aren't you?
Beautiful.
Yeah. She's not feeling the same way about the snow in the forecast for tomorrow, though. I'll tell you about that right after the break.
Programming brought to you by Century Casino. 3 great locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile.
The snowpack in Banff National Park is more than 2 meters deep in places, and experts say that's well above average. That is good news for soil moisture and to keep our water reservoirs full. CTV's Kevin Fleming reports.
She typically spends her workdays in Edmonton going over data related to snow accumulations all over the province. But now Natalie Brunet is on a field trip of sorts.
Today's special treat. So usually we're in the office looking at weather models, looking at all of this data that the field techs are collecting. But today I get to come out and put not quite faces to names, but the equivalent for snow surveys.
Brunet is working alongside of Meg Guan in Banff National Park.
So this information is really valuable with the snow surveys that we do. We put it into the water supply outlook that I usually do from my desk, and that has kind of basin-wide for the season, how much water volume do we expect to run off into the rivers.
The new data is compared to historic recordings, so the province knows if the current snowpack is above or below average. Many of the survey sites are only accessible by helicopter because of their remote locations within the national park. Guan uses simple tools to collect her information.
The snow tube goes in the snow, grab the tube, and the scale is rated to density of water,
and by knowing the snow depth and the weight of this core snow, you can figure out the water equivalent.
Brunet says there are many stakeholders downstream who rely on river and reservoir forecasting, and she says the numbers show that reservoirs are in good shape for the start of the season.
Lots of snow in the mountains does not equal lots of flooding downstream necessarily. So really what drives the big floods in the major cities is the big rain events. But the rate at which the snow melts is not fast enough to cause flooding on a wide scale.
Survey technicians say that the season started with a number of large snow events, and that snow remained throughout the season, with new snow added to it, increasing the snowpack. Now it's finding that many areas are well above average, and in some cases they're 2 times the normal average. Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Banff National Park.
Well, snow in Banff to snow in Edmonton. You gave us a little bit of a warning, but we are expecting snow.
Yeah, very likely that we will see at least some flurries and pockets of light snow tonight and off and on through the course of the day tomorrow. It's starting to look like probably not heavy snow, at least for the Edmonton area. We'll get to that in a second. Again, we're inside the Full House Lottery's Grand Prize show home. We'll take you on a little tour of this place in a second. But first, take a look outside. Let's talk weather. River Valley Skycam's brought to you by Action Furnace. Fixed right, it's free. 2 degrees after hitting a high of 4 earlier today. 4 in Red Deer for a high 4 in Jasper and 1 in Fort McMurray. Heaviest of the snow should be in southern Alberta, especially south of Calgary, but Red Deer south towards the Calgary region under a weather statement. In general, I think most of those areas are going to get about 5 to 10 centimeters. There will be some localized pockets of closer to 20 centimeters of snow. I think this model, it's been backing off through the course of the day. Earlier this afternoon, it had us at 6 centimeters in Edmonton, then 2 centimeters. Now it's at 1 centimeter by the end of tomorrow. Somewhere in that 1 to 6 centimeter range looks likely for us here in Edmonton, and probably closer to the lower end of that scale. Red Deer, I think that you're a bit of an outlier on that map. I think you're probably looking at 5 to maybe 10 centimeters of snow. We've got snow falling right now in through parts of the Peace Country. Rain snow mix, a little bit of shower activity there in the Greens south of Edmonton, as well as some wet snow, and that will continue to push north towards Edmonton through this evening and overnight tonight. So it's not going to be heavy, steady, non-stop snow overnight tonight and all day tomorrow, but off and on some flurries and occasionally some pockets of snow, and at risk of flurries or snow continues up until the sort of the mid-evening hours tomorrow. You notice, though, that latest run of the models has us on the drier end of things as opposed to the snowier end of things. Mix of sun and cloud by Friday, and after a cooler day tomorrow with a high of 1, we're back to about 6 degrees on Friday. It's 2 in Edmonton right now, 0s in Grand Prairie, Fort McMurray. Red Deer's at 3. Fairly light wind in the Edmonton area for much of the day, although sort of mid to late this afternoon it picked up a little bit. I don't think wind is going to be a huge factor, though, for the next 24 hours. So while that snow is coming down, blowing snow should not be a big issue. -3 tomorrow morning and +1 tomorrow afternoon. Although I tell you, if that snow falls apart, we could get to 2, maybe even 3 degrees. 6 and a mix of sun and cloud for Friday, 8 or 9 on Saturday, and then a high of 5 for Easter Sunday with the chance of some scattered showers. Again, the early bird deadline is midnight tonight. You have less than 6 hours to get your tickets and get in on 31 days of getaways. You can scan the QR code on your screen or go to fullhouse.ca. 31 early bird prizes every day in the month of May. You could win either $25,000 cash or a $35,000 travel voucher to use wherever you want to go. There's your long-range forecast. No real warming trend on the way, but temperatures are going to peak in that 8 or 9 degree range on Saturday, and then somewhere in the 2 to 7 degree range for daytime highs through most of next week. All right, everybody loves a kitchen. Everybody loves a nice primary suite. The lower level, Nerman, in this house is unreal. You've got a climbing wall for the kids there, a little games room, and then, this is my favorite part, the sunroom with the radiant heating and the sauna that looks out onto your backyard. Perfect. House is worth $2.45 million. You get $50,000 on top of that when you win this house, though. So fullhouse.ca.
I'm so with you on that sunroom. I love a good sunroom. So yes.
This heat feels so good right now.
And wait till that snowfall comes in. It looks so pretty to watch it from the sunroom. There you go. All right. Thank you, Josh.
Right? Yeah.
Well, still to come on CTV News, a primetime address from the U.S. president.
Once again,
Donald Trump is expected to provide an update on the Iranian war and a potential end date. Also,
I think the Canadian government is stalling for time. They think that Trump, my guess is they think Trump is weak.
A new battle is brewing in the trade war between Canada and the U.S.
Programming brought to you by Century Casino. 3 great locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile. Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
The U.S. president will address the nation tonight about the war with Iran. As consumers deal with skyrocketing gas prices and the ripple effect, Donald Trump has said the end of the war is coming. CTV's Joy Melvin has more from Washington.
President Donald Trump says he intends to declare mission accomplished in Iran soon.
I would say that within 2 weeks, maybe 3, we're hitting them very hard.
They are. The Pentagon says it's hit more than 11,000 targets, blasting Iranian vessels, damaging Iran's ballistic missiles, and decapitating much of Iran's senior leadership. Trump posted this morning, Iran's new regime president, much less radicalized, has just asked the U.S. for a ceasefire. We will consider when Hormuz Strait is open, free, and clear. But Iran's president was already president before the war. Tehran flatly rejects Trump's ceasefire claim, and Trump said it didn't matter if the strait was open or not. That critical waterway for global oil and shipping blocked by Tehran has sent oil and gas prices spiraling.
If France or some other country wants to get oil or gas, they'll go up through the strait and Hormuz Strait. They'll go right up there and they'll be able to fend for themselves. We have nothing to do with it.
It's no secret Trump is upset with America's allies. France, Spain, and Italy, even the UK, initially denied airspace and military support to Trump.
This is not our war. We will not be drawn into the conflict.
Lashing out in a British newspaper, Trump said, I'm strongly considering pulling out of NATO, calling the alliance a paper tiger, stating it's beyond reconsideration.
We are going to have to re-examine whether or not this alliance that has served this country well for a while is still serving that purpose, or has it now become a one-way street?
If Trump tried to pull out of NATO, he'd trigger a congressional and likely constitutional battle. The president telling Reuters he plans to criticize NATO tonight in his speech to the nation. Joy Melvin, CTV News, Washington.
A new battle is brewing in the trade war between Canada and the U.S. American officials have published a list of trade irritants with our country, pointing to the Buy Canadian policy as a thorny issue. CTV's Mike Licouture reports.
The country's iconic symbol of democracy will soon be protected by Canadian steel. During the next phase of renovations, the Peace Tower will be encased by steel scaffolding from Hamilton-based Walters Inc. But it may not have happened if not for the Buy Canadian provision.
It would have been more difficult, and the chances are that much of the material, at least the raw material, would have come from the United States as opposed to from Canada.
As of December of last year, the government mandated that publicly funded infrastructure projects should prioritize Canadian workers and industries. Even though the U.S. has a similar provision, the American trade representative cited Canada's version as a trade irritant. The Minister for Canada-U.S. Trade downplayed the list of irritants, saying talks are continuing.
There was a high-level meeting this week in Washington between senior officials from Canada and the United States to discuss these and other issues. So none of this is surprising to us.
The removal of American liquor off many provincial store shelves is also on the list of irritants, as is Canada's Online Streaming Act and the Supply Management System, which restricts the import of American dairy, poultry, and eggs into this country. Meantime, Mexico is seemingly further ahead in trade negotiations with the U.S., engaging in technical discussions with the Americans.
I think the Canadian government is stalling for time. They think that Trump, my guess is they think Trump is weak. They want to sort of see if they can get this deferred into the midterms.
Minister LeBlanc says he'll continue to speak regularly with his American counterparts about the CUSMA review, even as the deadline to decide the deal's fate is just 3 months away. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
A wild party lasted well into the early hours in Bosnia and Herzegovina after its soccer team qualified for the World Cup. Now, this was the scene in the capital, Sarajevo. Bosnians flooded the streets after their soccer team's nail-biting playoff shootout win over the heavily favored Italians, helping them clinch their spot in the World Cup. Now, across the country, cities were filled with flags, flares, and fireworks to the soundtrack of honking horns. Now, once the tournament begins, Bosnia will come to Toronto to face Canada for their first match on June 12th. But still to come, the rise in gas prices could be hitting your grocery bills.
If you can't cover your overhead, you got to increase prices.
Shoppers are being told to brace for higher food costs due to the ongoing Iranian war.
So it allows us to grow, allows us to reinvest in the community and hire more people.
A federal tax reprieve is providing relief for local alcohol makers. And this is the CTV drone over the TELUS World of Science, where just 2 hours ago, hundreds of people were inside to watch that historic Artemis II mission to the moon. Stay with us. Taking a look at today's markets, the Canadian dollar traded for 72 cents to the American dollar. Oil was down $1.26, closing the day at $100.12 U.S. a barrel. Gold gained $134 on the day. The TSX and the Dow Jones both finished the day higher, up 189 points and 224 points, respectively. Two meal kit services are the subject of a new recall. HelloFresh Canada is recalling some of its meals after cheese was found to be contaminated with listeria. The recall applies to both HelloFresh and Chef's Plate products in Canada. Customers would have received the meals between March 7th and the 27th. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency says symptoms of listeria may include vomiting, nausea, fever, muscle aches, and severe headaches. Small breweries in our province are celebrating an extension to the federal alcohol tax hike cap. Since 2017, excise taxes paid by brewers, wineries, and distillers have been set to automatically rise in line with inflation on April 1st each year. The federal Liberals put a temporary cap on the hikes at 2% since 2023, and this year was going to be the final year. The feds are now extending that cap until 2028. One local brewer says the cap extension will let them stay competitive with larger companies.
The impact to the 2% restriction will save Toolshed over $60,000 over the next 2 years in excise tax. And so it allows us to grow, allows us to reinvest in the community and hire more people.
The federal government is also giving a 2-year extension to an agreement that cuts excise taxes in half for the first 15,000 hectoliters of beer that's brewed in Canada. 1 hectoliter is roughly the equivalent to 133 standard wine bottles. The price of gas is now putting major pressure on grocers. As CTV's Andrew Johnson reports, some are being forced to consider raising prices.
It's just chicken broth.
As he stocks the shelves alongside his daughter, David Lee Quen knows there are tough decisions ahead.
I am worried that if this continues, I can't take care of my family.
This being the war in Iran and the resulting surge in gas prices that he says has already increased costs at his Vancouver grocery store by about 5%. But Lee Quen is leaving the prices alone for now.
We want the customers to still shop here, because if you put up your prices all the time, it's not good.
But independent grocers like this one can only absorb so much.
If you can't cover your overhead, you got to increase prices.
The Canadian Federation of Independent Grocers says shoppers should brace for higher prices.
We're already getting notifications of price increases, and in some cases, some of the distributors of products are tapping on surcharges, fuel surcharges.
The price I saw on the way in this morning was $269.9 for diesel.
Dave Earle represents truckers in BC and says they're frustrated. He says how much of shipping costs will be passed on to shoppers can depend on what is being shipped.
If it's a load of electronics that's worth $2 or $3 million, the extra, $500 to $700 in fuel, it doesn't make much of a difference to the end cost of the product. If it's a load of lettuce, that's very different. Death of 1,000 cuts. Everywhere you go, everything is a few cents more.
Everyone we spoke to expressed hope for a quick resolution in Iran and a return to normal for oil prices. But they also acknowledge even if that happens, there will be a lag and grocery prices could remain inflated for months. Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Vancouver.
If everything holds, Calgary's water restrictions could lift tomorrow. Crews have turned on the pumps and the Bear Spa South feeder main is now in operation. They are keeping a close eye on the system to make sure the pipe and water system remain stable. Water restrictions began in Calgary and surrounding areas last month for repairs to the aging feeder main that saw 2 catastrophic breaks. Well, coming up, how a backyard hummingbird is making an impact around the world.
I don't want to be the only one enjoying it.
Thursday in your morning, how to prevent chronic disease as you age and whether your protein needs increase. Plus, we'll tell you about an upcoming arts festival for those with sensory issues. Your morning. What?
A hummingbird nest in a Vancouver backyard might be home to some of the smallest birds in the world, but it's having a big impact. CTV's Adam Sawatsky explains.
After he first noticed the bird in his backyard, Jorge Parra didn't give it a second thought.
Okay, whatever. And then all of a sudden we kind of looked and we go, hey, there's a nest.
A nest being built by a hummingbird who Jorge and his wife named Amor.
And it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. We go, wow, this is amazing.
And soon Amor started making it fuller and fuller.
Next thing you know, there's an egg. And we saw the egg.
And then there were 2, the size of Tic Tacs, before hatching.
Oh, there's the baby!
To reveal siblings no bigger than jelly beans.
Such an incredible little creature came out of that egg.
They named the first Pickle before calling the second Jelly Bean.
This is such an amazing experience. I don't want to be the only one enjoying it. I want everybody else to enjoy it.
So Jorge set up a camera, focused it on the feathered family, and started live streaming it daily.
You see these little creatures, you just can't help but smile.
But Jorge never imagined just how helpful those smiles would be for the hundreds of people who started watching his video in 13 countries around the world.
They say, yes, there's a war going on, but you know what? This gives me a break.
And the moments of peace, the moments of caring, the moments when siblings encourage each other to spread their wings, gives them hope.
Forget about all the bad stuff and just watch nature, watch beauty, watch life grow.
And know that even when it seems like everything is going wrong, if you take the time to look, you can always find something to remind you that everything will work out right.
There's no other feeling than just joy. These little creatures are bringing joy and peace.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Vancouver.
That's all the time we have for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. For news anytime, you could visit ctvnewsedmonton.ca or now the CTV channel on YouTube. Have a good rest of your evening. I'll see you guys back here at 11:30. Have a good night.